All right, this is SSL Family Dad with Simple Sustainable Living, and today we're going to be replacing this floodlight. All right, so it's been about 6 months since we've moved into this farm, and oh my goodness, are things broken around here. There are lights that don't work, switches that don't work, outlets that don't work, electrical stuff is all messed up. There's things in the barn, in the garage, in the basement, everywhere that work and don't work right. And so I'm slowly replacing things here one by one. One of the things that burnt out was this, I think these are halogen lights, I believe they are. It's like a security light or work light basically back here. It was not motion activated or anything like that. It's just a light. There's a switch on the inside, it turns on and off, and that's it. I wanted to put something with a little more range out here that I could control and focus light on different areas just right here on this patio. So a company, this is a Sansi security light, LED security light. They sent this to me for me to give a try, and I wanted to try these out. So these are a little bit different than some of your standard floodlights. It is a full security light. It has motion as well as day and night sensing. So it's not going to be turning on all day long, obviously, when you don't need it. They also have a larger one, but this is a 30 watt. This is the power consumption. It's equivalent to about a 250 watt incandescent. So these things right here are just super high energy hogs. This is a 200 or 300 watt bulb. So hopefully I can save a little bit of money running this thing at nighttime. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys through just getting this put in, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the features and kind of why I like these LED lights. Okay, so this process is going to be the same for installing any floodlight. They install to a circular light box and on the outside, and the process is almost identical for pretty much all brands, models, and makes, but are very similar. So basically what you're going to get with these is the floodlight. Generally have 3 wires. You've got a ground, hot, and neutral, and most of them come with some type of a similar package of items here. I've got a rubber gasket that just keeps water out of the box, so in between the light and the box. This is a mounting bracket, and then the mounting screws, and then a couple wire nuts to make our wire connections. So really, as far as tools are concerned, you don't need too much. You're getting up on the ladder, you might as well have a pair of wire strippers, cutters with you. It's going to be handy, or at least a Leatherman, just in case you need to cut any wires a little bit shorter and re-strip them. I also always have an electrical tester in my pocket. I have obviously the circuit breaker turned off. I mean, that's obvious. You don't want to work on anything with the electricity turned on, so make sure you turn off the breaker, but you always want to test it, make sure you've got the right breaker. And then you might as well throw a couple screwdrivers in your pocket as well. Flathead and a little Phillips will be good. And because I know the YouTube Safety Patrol will be out, they always are. Thank God for the YouTube Safety Patrol. When you're working on electrical stuff, you really shouldn't use an aluminum ladder. So we'll be safe and careful because I don't have any other ladder. This is what I got. So power is off. We're gonna head up and remove the old light and get the new one prepared to put in. I've got 2 of these type of lights on the property. One's in our barn and one's here, and man, do they just suck power. And we leave this thing on all the time, of course, you know, forget, and then we've got some 300 watt light running 8 hours a day. Nobody's even out here. Now these types of fixtures, this fixture is still good, the bulb's just burnt out. So I will reuse this somewhere, and you can get LED bulb replacements for these, which is pretty nice. So it's probably what I'll end up doing with this, is just putting it out in the barn or something like that and getting an LED bulb for it. I think a 2-pack of those LED bulbs is about 15 bucks. So those go in the work lights or anything like that. I think they fit in here too. All right, so it looks like the old rubber gasket falling apart. So now's a good time to test our power, make sure we don't have power out here. Nothing there. So I think we're good. I always give it that quick finger check for some reason, even though I have a tester. I don't trust it. And just a safety tip, turning the switch off inside is not gonna cut power fully to a light. So you wanna make sure you use the breaker, otherwise you're gonna shock yourself, which is no fun. All right, so next I'm gonna get this bracket put on there. And this might be different with different models, just depends on what you're putting in. But essentially this is just to mount the light to. So the proper wire nuts, the wire nuts that were on here were not right. So those red wire nuts they were too big for this. But we're gonna do green to ground, so yellow wire nuts here. That's gonna be the right size for this gauge wire, for 2 of them or 3 of them. White to white, black to black. Pretty simple. All right, once we get all our wires tucked in here, there's just one screw in the center of the light fixture here that mounts on our bracket. So make sure all those wire nuts are tucked in there and we're able to get it tightened down pretty firmly here so that gasket seals all the way around. And we'll get a bunch of water pooling up in that box. So it looks pretty good. So this light is, the reason I wanted to go with a light like this is because it has full motion. So I can point both these LEDs in any direction here on the porch, but I can also set my motion zones. So this has a couple adjustments on it. This has a distance adjustment. So this is the motion sensor right here. So I can set this really far, point it out like this, and this will detect stuff, 50 feet out. And there's also a sensor adjustment on the back that I can turn up or down to judge the distance that it detects motion. I kind of want it right down here on the porch. I've got animals and stuff walking around, cats and things like that. So they'll be turning this thing on all night if I have it pointed out in the yard. What I want is, as soon as I walk out this door, I want this light to come on. So I'm going to keep it down somewhere in this range so it gets the front half of the patio here. So this is a pretty cool floodlight. Some of the other ones that I've set up, it doesn't have quite the same features as this, and so I really like this. So it's got a couple options. I have the motion sensing, which is going to be, you can set it at 1, 5, or 10 minutes. So if it detects motion, it'll stay on for that period of time. There's a switch on the back here. It also will not come on during the day. So as of right now, this isn't going to come on. So I went ahead and turned the power back on now. So you can see that it's not detecting motion, won't come on. Now there's a test here that I can do. And so that will come on for a few seconds and then go off. That's our test mode, so you can test the motion zones and things like that. So now, what if you want to leave this thing on all the time? You don't want it on motion. If you're just sitting out on the patio and you don't want it going off every 10 minutes. Well, this also has a manual feature. So if you just flip the light switch on the inside off and then back on again quickly, it will set it in manual mode and it will stay on all night long. As soon as the morning comes, the sunlight hits the photo sensor here, it resets it back into auto mode automatically, and then the next day it'll go right back into motion sensing mode only. So it's pretty nice to have all that functionality. I can set it manual, I can set it automatic, and if I forget, it automatically kind of resets itself, which is nice. My first concern was, well, what happens when these burn out? Am I gonna have to replace the whole thing? Well, in this case, these LEDs are not replaceable, and so once these do burn out, these are a lifetime thing. Once these burn out, you have to replace the whole unit. But there's a couple things with that. This carries a full 5-year warranty, and these are 50,000 hour bulbs. So I know that for at least 5 years, this is not going to be an issue. And I can tell you for 50,000 hours, as much as I run this light, this thing is going to last me a whole heck of a lot longer than that. So these LED bulbs will outlast probably the other components in this thing that will probably go bad before that. So I would say if you get 5 to 7 years out of a floodlight like this, you've done pretty well. All right, well, I'm out here in the light, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. The installation was easy and straightforward. The product is very quality. I'm happy with all the features, and it's definitely plenty of light for my patio back here. Lights up the yard and everything, so very good little product. I was impressed with this thing. It has a 5-year warranty on it. You know, I don't see that a lot on most other floodlights. I see 2-year warranties or less. 50,000 hour lifespan on the LEDs, and I couldn't tell you how many years that's going to be, but it's going to be a lot longer than that warranty probably. So very happy with the product. So thank you, Sansi, for sending the light out for me to try out. If you're interested in checking it out over on Amazon, the link will be in the description, as well as I'll throw a comment down below for you guys, easy to access. As always, whenever I do a product review, I ask the company to send me a little something extra to give you guys. And so in this case, they sent me this LED bulb. So I'll be giving this away. Anyone that leaves a comment on the video and hits the thumbs up button will be automatically entered. This isn't just any ordinary bulb. This is a 150 watt equivalent. I can't remember what the lumens is on that. It's a super bright, this is a $30 LED, so it's a very bright, nice little LED bulb. This would be great for, you know, anywhere you need an extra bright, like a garage or a barn or something like that. This will work perfectly for that. So if you'd like to enter to win that, go ahead and leave a comment and hit the thumbs up button. And even if you don't want to be entered and you want to leave a comment or have a question about the installation, of course, go ahead and leave those down below as well. I will do the drawing in 14 days for the light, and we'll send that out to the winner just as soon as possible. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.